It is the morning after one of the worst fires and craziest windstorms in LA history, and I was planning on filming a garden tour this week to show you everything that's growing, and I'm still going to show you everything that's growing, but now we have the added layer of did it survive and, you know, what I'm going to do about it. And to start us off, you can see one of my dragon fruit planters has fallen over, so let's get into it. There's still ash raining down, so I have no interest in playing games, so I'm throwing on the most intense filter I have. The audio will be what it will be. Here we go. Here on the far side of my garden, my beloved popcorn cassia, which I finally harvested and have seeds available for, took an absolutely crazy beating. Nothing snapped, surprisingly, so I'm really impressed by that. I will probably have to do some pretty intense pruning to get it looking good, but it is alive. This is a pretty average site at pretty much every corner in my garden, just mysterious leaves and branches piled up. I don't even know where the nearest pine tree is, but hey, it's here. There's some ranunculus in here that will be growing at some point, but they obviously didn't sprout, so nothing yet. Here we've got some rosemary, oregano, thyme, and mullein. If you look closely, you can see just how much ash and debris came down. The irony is that this is a herb that is great for lungs, so a bit funny here. I think I'll be able to clean it up and it'll be fine. Here I have my row of earth boxes. I hadn't planted anything in there yet, so that's nothing lost. These are 3 serrano plants that are about 3 years old. The production is slowed down, but they're still good and delicious peppers on here right now. Moving along, we've got some fava beans. You can see some that have just germinated there. These I planted a little while longer ago and are looking good. Along from there, we've got a couple things of peas. These are Beauregard snow peas or snap peas, I can't remember. Really pretty flowers, starting to get some production. I planted a bunch more of these, but these are older, so they're finally coming along. Similarly, all of these earth boxes here have a variety of different peas and beans in them, starting to sprout. You can see right there and there, so they will be just fine. Can't wait to have those. So much mysterious stuff on the ground. This is a unripe seed pod for my popcorn cassia. Again, I have plenty of seeds, so I'm not really concerned about this, but just kind of interesting. A lot of my nursery pots and grow bags and things have just flown from who knows where. It's a little irrigation punch tool, so glad that this did not disappear. I will be cleaning up all these and obviously saving them. Honestly, might use some of this stuff for mulch. Nothing growing in these 3 earth boxes here just yet. My 2 garden towers are looking pretty good. You can see there's a lot of ash on these strawberries here. Got some basil, marigold, cilantro, what else? Nasturtium, garlic, some ranunculus in there, arroyo lupine. Then moving over here, this was basil that, you know, I'm now gonna have to cut at the base. I was just leaving it for the pollinators. Teeny tiny little habanero. Then over here in my other earth boxes, we've got Enchelium red garlic, elephant garlic, Chinese pink garlic, and then Thai fire garlic. Nothing got uprooted. Obviously the stalks got knocked over a bit, but they'll be just fine. Then we've got some red cabbage. These 2 over here on the right aren't doing so hot and I'll probably take out. This big boy is looking good, which I am excited to see actually grow into something useful. And here we've got my dragon fruit container that actually stayed up, but then if we look over here, you can see the one that knocked over. I was going to lift this up last night, but the wind was just so insane that I just knew it was probably going to fall over again, so I waited till today. Lots of new voluntary mulch. This is a dwarf Cavendish that I'm planning to transplant into the soil somewhat soon. Glad I didn't, because it would have probably gotten ripped up. Then over here we've got a couple jalapeno plants. You can still see we've got some good peppers right here. Nice and red, nice corking, which means this is going to be a beautiful spicy guy. This is a little pomegranate tree that I'm growing. It is now dormant. And then we've got some chamomile right here. No flowers right now, but beautiful smelling leaves. This raised bed had pretty much all of the mulch get ripped off. So we've got nasturtium, a couple different varieties of onions and garlic. Let's see, we've got, this actually all is just California poppy here on the right hand side. Sweet oversized onion, Stuttgart yellow onion, snowball white onion, and on the other side we've got Lore's garlic, red Tosh garlic, Chinese pink garlic, and neon calendula. This had a good maybe 2 inches of mulch on it, and today there is none. It is just exposed soil, so that's one of the biggest losses for sure of this. The nasturtium here is doing good. We've also got some volunteer cilantro, which I'm never mad at. Plenty of volunteer nasturtium next to the bed too. Didn't get ripped up. Arguably the greatest loss from all of this was my loofah. One of my lighting lines got pulled down, which had some loofah on it, but that wasn't the worst of it. All 4 plants that were on this trellis had every single leaf get ripped off. You can see this is a nice ripe loofah right here. The others though, I'm going to have to cut down and try and ripen in the oven and still get something useful out of them, but these plants are for sure done now. I had even trained some of them to go up into the trees, or I guess let them be. So it's kind of funny to see that these are now down on the ground, and it looks like some squirrels were actually snacking on these while they were up there. I was hoping and looking forward to the surprise of seeing how they looked when they came down, but it is what what it is. My goji berry is fine. The nice thick mulch that's down at the bottom is fine too. Got a couple things of Enchelium red garlic here on the bottom because I had extra. Those are all looking fine. One of my favorite plants that I added to the garden this year was Hoja Santa, and it got absolutely torn up, and you can see just how crazy the wind was and the damage was. These leaves were perfect less than 24 hours ago. You can see right here this stem fully just snapped. I'm going to cut this up and try and propagate it, hopefully. In that same bed, we've got hollyhocks, some holy basil, and I think something else, but those are the main characters at play. This other little raised medicinal bed is looking a little crusty right now, but we've got mullein, we've got evening primrose, there's some stevia, some lemon balm, some lavender. Nothing got destroyed, but it for sure needs a revamp as well. This red also got blasted. It had a variety of Brussels sprouts, onions, and garlic in it. Nothing really seemed to get uprooted, but we'll just put some stakes in, hopefully stock some things up, and I think it'll be okay. This Brussels sprout seedling looks great. This one got knocked over, so there's just a lot of inconsistency, so we're just rolling with it. This raised bed, a lot of my broccoli rabe got knocked over. That was growing really wonderful, but I don't see any snapped bottoms, so I think they'll be fine. Pretty much all these raised beds, I've got yarrow in the corners. I'm trying to get a lot more of that in my garden this year, and that fared perfectly fine. It wasn't a particularly tall plant. As far as in-ground things went, this elderberry fared perfectly fine, which I'm impressed by because it's a pretty dainty little plant. I planted a ton of ranunculus around my garden, and everything is starting to creep up. None of the plants were particularly tall, aka they're all like an inch tall at best, so thankfully they're faring wonderful. Lots of new alyssum seedlings popping through. We've got tons and tons of nasturtium. That's a white sage right there. There's a roof tile for my roof. Got some strawberries. A lot more strawberries right here. Those of you with a keen eye may notice the amount of olives that are on the ground. I have a giant ornamental olive tree in my backyard that predates me, and it is not ornamental. It drops olives everywhere. Again, just tons and tons of ranunculus popping through. There's one there. If I scoot over, there's one right there. Also right there. There as well. You get the idea. There's a lot of it. In this part of my garden, there's also a lot of unwelcome volunteers like oxalis or Bermuda buttercup. I'm just rolling with the punches and dealing with it and growing the ranunculus where I can. Underneath all of this carnage and involuntary mulch is more strawberries, which I'm sure are doing perfectly fine. Mixed between the olives, we've got these purple looking guys, which are lily pilly. It's an edible fruit that doesn't have a whole ton of flavor. I believe it's native to Australia, but it's used commonly as a landscaping plant here in Southern California. If you can spot the difference between it and the olive tree, that's what it looks like there. Again, just lots of random stuff that got lifted from places I didn't know it could get lifted. This chair is probably just about seen its last day. Who knows? Nope, yep, definitely seen its last day. That's good. My nicely organized area of my various carts and grow bags and stuff got absolutely obliterated and thrown around. Again, thankfully, nothing seems to be broken, but it certainly took a little Wild Wild West moment. Coming around to my side yard, you can see there's just stuff everywhere. This is my bear's lime. The tree itself did pretty well. Here's a nice little specimen right here. It's fully ripe, so it's yellow, but every last bit of mulch is gone. It's just bare soil. It's good soil, but bare soil. Same story with my lemon tree. Not looking super hot, but absolutely no mulch now, so this has got a nice little revamp. I've gotten a few little goodies off of both these guys. Moving over to the raised bed in my side yard. No idea whose house this came from, but that's just kind of the state of the situation. Lots of involuntary mulch in this bed, but all the plants seem to have fared quite well. We've got red tosh garlic, Enchelium red garlic, Chinese pink garlic, sweet oversized onion, some green cabbage, and then a couple ranunculus. You can see those are starting to show up. Again, this is my wife's favorite flower, so I grow as much of it as I possibly can. This nursery plot was stored a good 30, maybe 40 feet away, so that tells you just how crazy it was. Well, that's enough showing, so now let's actually get to cleaning.
So when I first started filming this and actually, started cleaning up, it was the early morning after the crazy wind had passed. I was driving from farther out east to Pasadena to then make my way home after picking my wife at LAX after her flight miraculously landed. And the drive alone was the most insane experience I think I've ever had. I'm surprised the car kept all four wheels on the ground and very grateful that her flight actually landed. But in the time since, the fires have just been so brutal. It's destroyed so many wonderful and historic parts of LA, and I live super close to Eaton Canyon. I've lived in Pasadena for over 8 years, and even before I lived here, I loved the city and felt a deep connection to it. On my bachelor party, me and some of my best friends went on a hike of Eaton Canyon, and if I were to take that hike today, it would probably just be gone. So many friends and family and beloved local businesses have just been burned to the ground, and it just sucks. It just sucks. There's a lot of people doing a lot of work and helping out around the community right now, but I'm hoping by the time you see this video that the fires have been completely contained and it's all long and gone. But there will be so much work both in the weeks, months, and years ahead to rebuild. So I'll be putting some links in the description, both for ways to help out in the short term if you're seeing this on the quick side of the release, or in the long term if you've come across it later. If you're coming across this later and wondering how to salvage your garden after something crazy like this, spray down your plants, get the ash off of it, rehydrate your soil. But other than that, there's not really a nice end or button to this. It's just been a brutal week for my community and for the greater city of Los Angeles as a whole. My garden will be fine. My wife and I will be fine. But if you are finding this and feel like helping out in any way, go ahead and check those links in the description. Make sure to follow and subscribe as, I post more in the aftermath of this, and I'll talk to you guys soon.